Good evening to everyone. And let me start off by extending congratulations and, of course, best wishes on another International Women's Day. I see the theme, there's all sorts of nice themes being articulated by the United Nations, including breaking barriers, breaking biases. Well, we have broken biases, but it's not really something to celebrate. It's a small step, because the bottom line is that we still continue to battle the root cause of misogyny, and that there is this. We have a situation now where there is this use interchangeably of misogyny and sexism, but they're not the same, and the difference matters. If we are to make the kind of progress we deserve, and when we talk about gender equality, I'm always sort of cloud hanging over my head is the reality that racism and the male white patriarchy that creates the barriers and the unconscious biases that have made things difficult historically for those who identify gender identification as woman and female. There's an intersectionality between that bias and racism. It is all a social construct of white male-dominated patriarchy. And too often, we in the Caribbean, whether it is because of the historical antecedents of colonialism and slavery and the plantation, we in fact, each and every one, by socialization, we are complicit in enabling and empowering misogyny. And in fact, the interesting thing is, and it is something I would want all of us to be very careful about, is that misogyny rewards women who support the status quo. And it is something that especially Caribbean people, regardless of where you go across the color spectrum, it is very easy to come across as being exclusionary when we say brown and black colored. But we know across the Caribbean, whether it is from Aruba right down to Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and the UECS, North, South Caribbean, we complete the rainbow spectrum. So I don't want anyone to misunderstand and figure that I'm raining on the parade and the land. We will still toast, because it is important to celebrate any progress we have made. But I don't want us to fall for the false hypocritical narrative of organizations such as the United Nations that are part of empowering and enabling misogyny, racism, and sexism. The other important aspect that we must be mindful as we move forward is that the socialization of heteronormative constructs of gender where people who are identified as LGBTQs and queer and transgender as themselves discriminated and face unconscious bias from even those who identify by gender as women or female. So I say this to say that I acknowledge the progress that have been made. I congratulate those who have broken the biases, and some of them will share their stories here today. But let us not fool ourselves. In this Olympic and Commonwealth Games movement that we serve and offer to the youth and young people of the Caribbean, our athletes, some of whom are on this forum, let us not diminish their determination to have a genuine conversation about gender equality, and gender equality in its truest form. Not gender equality as defined by heteronormative social construct, for which many of us have been indoctrinated either by virtue of religion, class, ethnicity, etc. So I look forward to hearing some of the stories. I look forward to raising my glass of water if I will be allowed so. I hope my brief address has not annoyed some of you, and therefore I'll be uninvited to toast because I'm being seen as a spoil sport. That is far from it. We celebrate the progress we have made, but the journey still has a long way to go. For those of you who doubt, look around, whether it is the level of the IOC, Pan Am Sports, Central Caribbean Sports, the Caribbean, across our national federations and our continental federation, it is still much male-dominated. Only a day ago, I went to a function here in Trinidad and Tobago. Big celebration. Everybody congratulating themselves. The program had about 10 people, 9 males, 1 woman. They announced 3 coaches with great trumpet and fanfare, all male. And this was the day before International Women's Day. Boy, we have a long way to go. And there I just said it, boy. And I did that deliberately. Because even as we talk about anything related to the topic today, we also have to look at our language and portrayal. I hear many times women in the Olympic movement say guys, and they're talking to a bunch of women and females. So, folks, on that note, congratulations, and it's always a pleasure. And I look forward to all the celebration. Even though I must say, I noticed, I don't know if it was deliberate, I see Turks and Caicos seem to be leading the front when I look at the program, but I know that CANOC will support whoever is taking the lead. So, as I said, thank you very much for the opportunity.